Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you've all had a fantastic Tuesday evening. Hope you've all had a great day. Hope you've all had a great start to this week. And I hope you're all looking forward to another brand new weekend in October 2023. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video. Hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to always remember to put the notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 for more Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4 Last Resort, Rocket League Season 12 Porsche, more previews, more match reactions, and much more brand new stuff planned for the last few months in 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Good evening to everybody, all you legends and all you legendary people. And all I have to say is, Onana, what's my name? Onana, what's my name? Onana, what's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Onana, what's my name? Onana, what's my name? Onana, what's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Welcome to the UEFA Champions League reaction between Manchester United and FC Copenhagen on match day 3 of the 23-24 Champions League group stage campaign for Manchester United at Old Trafford this evening, in which was an emotional game for every Manchester United fan and supporter across the globe on the planet this evening. Manchester United have finally got off to a winning start in this Champions League group. We have finally got our 3 first points of the campaign, and Sir Bobby Charlton would be proud of those dramatic moments in the last few minutes of that game, thanks to Andre Onana's penalty save to deny FC Copenhagen a point. Onana penalty save has rescued Manchester United. The first time he has saved a penalty for this club since his transfer from Inter Milan in the summer transfer window. Thank God for Andre Onana. I mean, there are so many people out there that doubted this goalkeeper, saying he wasn't going to be good enough, saying he wasn't clinical enough with the ball and would concede a heck load of goals. Man United out of jail. Thank God Onana saved that Larson penalty. I mean, the dramatic scenes at Old Trafford when you are 1-0 up going into the 96th minute and you knowing that anything can happen in added time at the end of the game. And for Scott McTominay, yet again, to nearly cost this club. I mean, that is 2 weeks in a row now that Scott McTominay for Manchester United has nearly cost us 3 valuable points that this club drastically needed to kick off this Champions League campaign. And finally, United have won. It was ugly. It wasn't great. It wasn't very good. And I think United have got very, very lucky tonight, thanks to Andre Onana. Without him in goal, that goes down as an FC Copenhagen equaliser and FC Copenhagen rescue a point. And then Man United would then still be rooted to the bottom of this Champions League group. Manchester United are getting by lucky. That is 3 games in a row that Manchester United are getting very, very lucky at the moment, the way we are playing. It is very, very lethargic. There is a lack of energy. There is a lack of ideas. There's a lack of consistency. And that team did not look like a team tonight that really could guarantee you any kind of win or any kind of result at Old Trafford. But luckily, we used the Monopoly get out of jail free card to get across this line thanks to Onana. I mean, to talk about a dramatic night at Old Trafford, that has probably got to be one of the most dramatic nights I have seen in Champions League history. I mean, I know it's only the group stage and I know it's only FC Copenhagen, but we should not be conceding a penalty in the 97th minute. I mean, Scott McTominay, first of all, why he's got his foot high up in the air. He must think he's Angelina Ballerina from the bloody Nick Jr. channel. I mean, bloody hell, Scott. He should not be putting himself in that situation that has nearly cost United. If Onana does not save that penalty, we draw that game 1-1, and Scott McTominay is at full blame for giving that result away. We have got by lucky tonight. It was basically get by Man United again. It was basically scrape the barrel 2.0 at Old Trafford. That was a very, very risky win. Man United can still qualify for the next round of the Champions League. Surely you need that win against Copenhagen. Goals and Copenhagen again, buy and again. If you lost today, buy Champions League. Exactly. Man United have got themselves an absolute lifeline. It is an absolute lifeline that we have won this game. I was expecting Manchester United to absolutely dominate FC Copenhagen, but full credit to their manager and full credit to their players. I mean, they've won their league 15 years now. They've won it for the last 2 seasons in a row. And playing like that, I can see why they are. FC Copenhagen came to Old Trafford, and you know what? Fair play to them. Fair credit to them. Because I tell you what, in that first half, FC Copenhagen were the better team. Let's not beat around the bush about it. Man United did not turn up tonight. And I think Man United expected to absolutely smash Copenhagen by parking the bus. And I think Copenhagen did it well for nearly 72 minutes. I expected United to go all guns blazing. I expected Manchester United to come away with a very convincing 4 or 5-0 win. I thought they were going to be there, goals to be scored, goals to be had. But I just don't think this team is very, very connected at the moment. Park the bus, Copenhagen. Good luck in your next game. You're going to need it exactly. This is a very, very lucky win. It is very, very lucky win. Like, I was wrong about, FC Copenhagen style of player, and I was wrong about, they're going to get hammered and United are going to absolutely rip them apart. But you know what? You've got to give that team full credit. It was exciting football. It was passionate football, and they were the better team. I mean, we could have been 1-0 down within 6 minutes due to poor defending, where the FC Copenhagen winger hits the post, and luckily it's not rolled in off the post into the Onana's net. United have easily been 1-0 down, but when you're relying on an unlikely goal scorer to get you out of jail as well as a penalty save, United, Sir Bobby Charlton must be watching down on us tonight, because I tell you what, God bless Sir Bobby Charlton, absolute hero, legend, icon, inspiration, role model to so many young footballers, and the history he created at Man United. It still lives on. Sir Bobby Charlton's memory is still going to live on, and we will never, ever forget him for the contribution and the achievements he achieved at this football club. It was a very, very emotional night. I think that emotion probably took over the game. I think, the players have had a very, very few tough days following the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton, and I think behind the scenes it's been a very, very emotional week. But United in general just did not look like a team that were going to cause FC Copenhagen many, many problems. I mean, United have had 2 great chances to get in front, get the ball and put the ball into the net. But United, again, we're lacking goals. It's quite clear to see that team is lacking a lack of attacking quality. We don't seem to be, our conversion rate seems to be nowhere near. And I think as a whole, United could not be scraping the barrel against a team really United should be beating quite heavily. And I think, the lack of disrespect I pay to FC Copenhagen, I do have to hold my hands up. I expected them to roll over and United were going to batter them. I honestly thought this was going to be a very, very convincing Man United win, but credit to the way they come out and credit the way they were playing against us. They were the better team in that first half. There is no doubt about that. FC Copenhagen came to Old Trafford and they outplayed Man United, and it was very, very clear to tell what the style of play was. They were going to park the bus and try and break Man United on the counter-attack. And I think United know they needed a goal. And I mean, thank God, the substitution for Amrabat for Christian Eriksen happened, because that ball from Eriksen is absolutely world-class. I mean, Eriksen gets a lot of critique, he gets a lot of criticism, and he gets a lot of unfair treatment from pundits and pundits alike on several channel outlets and ex-players and ex-managers that Eriksen doesn't really offer Man United anything going forward. That midfield, again, it was lacking so much. That midfield 3 of Amrabat, McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, it does not work. And I think that was quite clear to show tonight. That midfield is lacking a lot of energy. And for me, going forward, when your midfield is lacking quality and you're lacking a lot of decent football to control that midfield 3, Man United are going to struggle. Lucky against Sheffield United as well. Exactly. Manchester United, like I said, cannot keep scraping the barrel. United really should be putting these teams away quite convincingly. And unfortunately, it's not happening due to the pure fact that team looks so imbalanced. There's a lack of identity. There's a lack of any plan. I just did not feel comfortable watching that game tonight for 90 minutes. It just didn't recognise to me that Man United were going to get anything out of that game. I personally thought when it hit the 70th minute, I was destined this game was going to end 0-0. But, you know, the delicious cross from Eriksen to find the unlikely goal scorer in Harry Maguire, which has been probably no one's predicted goal scorer to score the first goal tonight. And I mean, a 1-0 win is a 1-0 win. It is basically you have scraped by tonight thanks to Harry Maguire. I mean, I don't rate Maguire. He is never, ever going to be good enough for this football club. But you know what? Credit him to keep himself on side. The FC Copenhagen player's shoulder to keep Harry Maguire in an onside position. And full credit to Maguire getting in on that headed cross from Eriksen from the assist from outside the FC Copenhagen penalty area. Because without that, this game and United are probably going to still be sat bottom of their group. I think, you know, full credit to what's happened tonight. United, I think as a whole, they didn't play very well. I think we were way off the pace. And I just don't think that team has got any kind of role model. I don't think that team really has got any connection. I think the players are not very comfortable with playing in the same lineup every week. And I think the team is running out of ideas. There just seems to be like they've got the handbrake on. It's like when you have a set of traffic lights in a car and you've still got the handbrake on and you can't, and you're trying to accelerate away, but you realise you've left the handbrake on. That reminds me of so much of Manchester United at the moment. We are got the handbrake constantly on and we're not releasing that handbrake. And I think the problem is it the style of play we're trying to achieve? Is it the way we are setting up for the attacking quality? Or for me, is it down to the pure tactics of Erik ten Hag that is making this team suffer going forward? I just think the team is relying so much on the defence. It's relying so much on the midfield because that front three again, I mean, I did say Man United are struggling to score goals and quite clear to tell that Rasmus Højlund on his own is not enough. It clearly showed tonight that that guy is now struggling. And I feel sorry for Rasmus. He's probably one of our best young strikers this club has had and does remind me of Ruud van Nistelrooy the time we signed him under Sir Alex Ferguson. And he's got that vibe of that player. But it showed tonight that the lack of quality, the lack of transition, and I think the lack of any kind of assist from our wingers. I think tonight in the end, Rasmus Højlund was suffering from a lack of quality from Antony, and I think so was Marcus Rashford. I think, again, both of them were very, very poor, and I think Ten Hag has got concerns there. I think probably, in my opinion and in my view, Erik ten Hag probably expected a much more convincing performance. He probably expected Man United to win this game quite convincingly and probably would have made hostile changes in the second half to know the game was killed off and there was no chance FC Copenhagen were going to make any kind of comeback. But the few chances that United got, I mean, Eriksen, the chance he got from outside the box, he really should be scoring that. I mean, the through ball from the back to the front from Bruno Fernandes that puts Garnacho through on a one-on-one position. Garnacho takes it very well. He then plays a ridiculous heavy touch and the ball rolls away to the FC Copenhagen goalkeeper. And then Rashford's also put through one-on-one as well. And he's got the beating of the FC Copenhagen centre-back. And yet again, he controls it well. He takes the ball well. And then all of a sudden, he plays this stupid heavy touch and the ball's gone straight out of play for an FC Copenhagen goal kick. If United would have been a bit more consistent up front and those three chances would have been converted, this game would have ended 3 or 4-0 to Manchester United. And I think that is why we suffered. I think this is why we didn't get the result we all wanted. I don't think this is why we got the result that we were expecting. And I think this is why United are really starting to struggle up front. I mean, I feel sorry for Rasmus. The lack of service is, quite frankly, unbelievable. Antony, again, for me, very, very poor. And it's going to cost Manchester United. I mean, you've spent 85 million on him. He's had all these personal problems in his life back in Brazil. He's come back into the United team. He's come back into the United starting lineup, back into the United fold. And all of a sudden, Antony just does not look like the same player. Very selfish, very greedy with the ball. Can't put a decent cross into the box for our main attackers. And I think this is why Rasmus is suffering. I think he is being ignored. I think personally, and there was a statement coming out from Ruud van Nistelrooy, ex-world-class striker, that Man United players are deliberately ignoring Rasmus Højlund's quality because they know Rasmus Højlund's a better player than them. And I think he's right. I think if Rasmus Højlund would have two proper wingers that can get that ball into that box to deliver crosses and to deliver passes to Rasmus Højlund's feet, all he's got to do is turn the centre-back inside out, get the ball and smash it in with his left foot. And I think that is why he probably did not have his best game. Like, he did have one glorious chance. I mean, Rashford did find a great ball to him in the first half. He takes a great touch and smashes it over the bar. And he's very unlucky it's not gone in. But the power is there in Rasmus's shot power. His consistency with the ball is very, very good in his control. And his body strength and his upper muscles are putting defenders on their backside. And I think he is a massive, massive positive around this Man United team. And I think for me, he's probably got to go down as at the moment, our player of the season. I mean, he's come in, he's been an absolute breath of fresh air, and he's starting to score a lot more goals. But I think tonight, if he would have had the proper service he was looking for, Rasmus would have put the ball in the net. He would have put that ball in the net and he would have scored a few goals. And he did then put a delicious through ball into the box in the second half in the FC Copenhagen goalkeeping area. But the cross has gone way wide and it's gone out to Marcus Rashford, who's been deployed out on the right wing again due to tactical substitutions being made by our manager, Erik ten Hag. And then what he's done with that, he switched Rashford to the right. That doesn't work. And I think, again, it showed tonight that we are crying out for a specialist left winger and we are crying out for a specialist right winger. We need players in this squad that are going to offer that missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle. And I think this is why that team struggled tonight. We really struggled to break down that FC Copenhagen formation. I mean, they played a 4-5-1 and it was very, very constructive. It was very, very well balanced. And the way Copenhagen parked the bus, Mourinho used to do it when he managed this club. We used to park the bus and then break on the counter-attack. And then, unfortunately, that was Jose Mourinho's downfall. And then he ended up getting the sack. And I think for me, as a whole, can we really keep letting teams park the bus against us and then they break us on the counter-attack? I just don't think United had any clear plan. What was the plan tonight? I think behind the scenes, it just doesn't look very... The football doesn't look great on paper. I know it's 3 wins in a row and at least we've kept a clean sheet and that is a positive. But the whole aspiration and the general style of play is very, very boring. And I don't know why we have turned into this team that are relying on more backwards passes than getting the ball forward. I don't know why we're doing it. I don't know why we're still influencing that style of play. We did this under Mourinho. We did this under Van Gaal. You need to be a constant pressure team that is putting pressure on the opposition team and on the opposition players. And this is why United are failing. Because if you think about it, if we were to put constant pressure every time we play, the results would be a lot more emphatic, would be a lot more positive, and the scoreline would look very, very convincing. But when you're scraping a 1-0 win, you think to yourself, God blimey, Man United, you've really gone to town tonight. And I think they did. I think they really went to town tonight and basically have scraped the barrel, like I said. You really, in my opinion, we all know as a Man United fan and Man United supporter, you should be beating teams like this. You should be getting the results we need. But winning 1-0, it's not the best performance. It was basic. It was very bang average. But I think, the second half, I think the players were probably giving up a kick at the backside. But I think for me, the only positives for me that made that game any more of an influence in performance in that second half was Eriksen and Garnacho's impact. I mean, I know Garnacho should have scored that one-on-one shot. I get that. He should have buried that. I mean, he should not be taking a stupid heavy touch that rolls the ball straight into the FC Copenhagen goalkeeper's arms. He should not have made a stupid heavy touch. That ball would not have rolled away for him. He would have scored. I think if Højlund was on the end of that ball ends up in the back of the net. But I think Garnacho was a very, very good positive impact. And I think, he has to go down as probably a very, very good, impactful player off the bench. But does he deserve more of a starting place now? Well, the way United played tonight, yeah. I think Garnacho needs to come into this team because United just seem a lack of... The front three just looks very, very unenthusiastic. And Højlund's our best hope. And I don't want to put pressure on a 20-year-old striker. I don't. But the price tag is saying it all. The price tag that we paid for Højlund is costing United because there is so much pressure and stress on the shoulders of Rasmus, who knows the players he got around him are basically inconsistent, very bang average every week. And every game, we are seeing the same problems week in, week out. And for me, the more problems we create for ourselves, the more of the downfall it is going to be. I don't want United going backwards. It's best going forward than backwards. And I think that is why today's performance, that team is crying out for something. We are clearly missing our main centre-back pairing. Martinez, we are desperately missing because defensively, it's really shocking. Diallo, I mean, do we even need to have a debate now? I mean, we all deep down know Diallo is such a crap right back. I'm really sorry, but today, that was on paper one of his worst performances ever in a United shirt. Going forward, he put in one decent cross all game and it didn't even find Rasmus and it got onto the head of FC Copenhagen centre-back. I mean, I've said this time and time again. Some of these players are not good enough. They are not at the level to do what Ten Hag is requesting of them, not just in training, but in a competitive match, in tournaments and in the league and in the cup competitions. We are relying on players that are not going to get the job done when we need the job being completed. Like, if you're having a new bathroom done and it says it's going to take a week to do, you need it to be done in that week because you realise that you're going to be out of the bathroom and probably just having very light sponge bath showers to get your body clean and keep you fresh because the bathroom is out of bounds. It's out of order because you're having a brand new state-of-the-art bathroom being installed. Like, you can't do that at Man United. We are expecting these players to be hitting a level now where there's a bit more consistency, there's a bit more belief in these players. And I think as a whole, tonight, United are lacking. And it's lacking is worrying. For me, if you're going to keep getting by every week, we have got big problems. That team tonight, I mean, the only positives, like I said, from the performance-wise, was Garnacho and probably Christian Eriksen. But on the injury positives, I know, we all know Tom Heaton is not really seen as a goalkeeper that is going to get much football for this club because he's not very good. And we all deep down know that. But that was a positive, having him back from injury, I suppose. And I think also today, having Sergio Reguilon back from injury and illness was a positive as well. And Reguilon back at left back, it made that back four a more balanced back four. And I think it was at times of the game. But I know Reguilon didn't play well. Let's be honest. That's probably one of his worst games he's had in a United shirt. Going forward, I expected a lot more, but he's probably just only coming back from injury and his illness, and he's not fully matched up to play a whole 90-minute game. But we do kind of need that performance out of him to keep playing at left back because we haven't got anyone else available. I just think defensively was very poor. Gave the ball away several bloody times from stupid positions. And it was costing us on the break because FC Copenhagen were attacking our penalty area. And I think for me, you really shouldn't be letting the opposition get that confidence that a left back is a bit insecure because he's only just come back from injury straight into a Champions League big group stage game that United desperately need the win and the points from. And I think that today said a lot of Manchester United that I rate Reguilon. For me, he's better than Luke Shaw. He's one of my favourite players. He's better than Malacia. But today, I think, that was pushing the limit that maybe he should have been brought off at half-time and Lindelof was brought on. But yet again, Victor Lindelof, we all know, again, playing him at left-back, again, is not the answer. I think for me, the team is getting so completely imbalanced every game in the second half. When we are trying to make subs, we should be bringing on the players that we need to be able to make sure that we play them in the correct positions. But it's not Ten Hag's fault. He is stuck with the squad we've got. But yeah, the team was, for me, at times of game, we were all over the place. 6s and 7s defensively. The midfield battle was getting lost. And like I said, for the front three, we all know what's going on in the front three. I mean, we've discussed Anthony. We all know what's going on there. But I think another problem is Marcus Rashford. I think, again, today, that is 3 games in a row now, that Rashford is showing signs of burnout. He is showing signs of inconsistency. And he's showing signs of that he needs to be dropped, Eric. Again today, bloody awful. I'm really, really sorry. I don't know why we are still selecting him. I don't know why he's still getting picked. And I don't know why there is no chance of him getting dropped. This is what is frustrating me. I have seen more out of Garnacho in that cameo role he had in the second half than what Rashford did on that whole left wing performance for the whole 90 minutes. I saw a lot more impact from Garnacho than what Rashford had all game. And for me, Rashford did have a good season, but now I think he has suffered burnout. I think he needs a break, and I think he needs to be dropped. I think a big call has got to be made on the liability of Marcus Rashford cannot keep playing for Man United the way he is at the moment. The performances are saying it. His frustration is clear to see, and the effort does not seem to be there to go the whole maximum in a Man United shirt. Is that problem with an injury he's carrying, or does he feel he's getting overplayed too much, or does he feel, again, the players around him, he's stuck with them because he knows deep down half of them are not bloody good enough? And again, another problem that never seems to get solved at this club. And I think, in my opinion, that needs to be improved because we were lacking ideas everywhere. And like Tim Sherwood on Sky, who's an ex-Tottenham reject who couldn't keep his Tottenham job safe, I was agreeing with what he was saying on Sky Sports. There is clearly no plan, and there's no energy in that team. That team looks dead. That team looks so bad on its knees. We just don't feel like we are going to offer anything going forward that has convinced me that Man United are going to turn this season around. And I know we've gone unbeaten in 3, we've won 3 in a row. I mean, it's a bloody improvement, let's be honest. It's an improvement of some style. Can you get my phone for me? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I just think at the moment that United are suffering from a complete untire burnout. I think the team's tired. I think the players need a break. I do believe, in my opinion, a winter break is also needed very desperately. But I think as a whole, United are relying on players to get them out of jail that are so inconsistent that in big games they're suffering. I don't want that to happen because we are going to get picked off left, right, and centre. Yeah. Cool. United will get picked off by better teams. They will get picked off 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, and that's the problem for me. If United are going to keep playing badly like this, the worse the results might get, and the worse the outcomes might have also. I want that outcome happening in a team that I feel has got potential in it to be able to achieve the thing we're looking for. And at the moment, I have lost confidence and passion for this team going forward that they're going to turn this around. Like, I don't want United playing football like this when it's not good enough. I'm sorry, it's not. Like, if United are going to keep playing like this, then God, what's going to happen at Man City on Sunday evening? Because United, it could be an absolute mauling. It could be an absolute joke of a scoreline to Man City's side, because Man City have got the players, they've got the quality, and they've got the manager to do it. Man United have got the manager, but haven't got the players to be able, long term, to take this team forward. And I don't trust, at the moment, to be able to take, for me, this team needs some kind of improvement in the next few games to be able to get us going forward and shifting on a monumental stage, because at the moment, this team is lacking everything. It's lacking hunger, it's lacking desire, it's lacking any side of passion. And when you're having to rely on your goalkeeper to save a penalty to get United out of jail, that says a lot. That says an awful lot about the commitment and the passion from these players and this squad. It shows a lot that these players, are they fully ready to step up playing Champions League football every week? I thought they'd be up for it. I thought they'd be mad beating it. I thought they'd be excited to be in it. But like I said, our Champions League group, we are in the group of death. And so are Newcastle United. Man United and Newcastle have unfairly been given tougher groups than Arsenal and Man City that are going to cruise their groups. At Man United, it's give them the R teams, and so is Newcastle. That's no excuse. But United, if you're scraping past FC Copenhagen, then that shows that, blimey, it wasn't a performance that I was expecting. It was a performance of bang average players playing as individuals. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. You're Man United players, you should feel proud to represent your club. And at the moment, when that representation is completely out the window and the players don't seem to be up for it, how can you expect this team to perform? And I think, like I said, I did not expect Harry Maguire to grab us the winner. Especially it took 72 minutes of football, so only an hour and 12 minutes of Champions League football to find that goal. And it may be a good positive impact. It might improve Maguire's game. But again, that's saying a lot, isn't it? But at the end of the day, that winner could kickstart this team again. Like, the more wins we get, the more positive outcomes we are looking at. But today, Man United have got lucky. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. United are very lucky. They scraped past Brentford, scraped past Sheffield United, and are scraping past FC Copenhagen. I mean, if we're just scraping by now, what is going to happen on Sunday? Man City are going to rip them apart. I dread what's going to happen in that game, by the way, because that is our next preview, our next game we've got. But can I see Man United beating Man City the way we're playing? Absolutely not. I'm sorry. At the moment, the way we're playing, with a lack of idea and a lack of identity, no, I'm sorry, this United team are going to get torn apart, because these players just don't seem to be enthusiastic. They seem to be very, very bang average at the moment. And for me, a Champions League's a big thing for this club. Like, we need to stay in this competition to, try and somehow get back into it again for next season. But it's going to be a difficult task. But I did say this. I did fear what could happen. Like, there's a big difference between Champions League and Europa League football. You play on the first night instead of a Tuesday, Wednesday. There's more tired legs. There's more of a fatigued team. And I think for me that the quality of Man United, what they were in the Europa League, they've got to the Champions League and they've realised, oh shit, we didn't expect this to happen. We expected to be able to compete with these other bigger European teams that we're going to be up against and play with. But at the moment, the quality is telling. The quality is telling due to the pure fact that Man United are very, very unprepared for this. And for me, that's no fault of Ten Hag. He should have been getting a lot more out of this team than what we are at the moment. But like I said, I mean, thank God for Andre Onana. I mean, if Scott McTominay, like I said, he's conceded the penalty due to a bad high foot. I mean, that's twice in a week. And people saying, oh, Super Scott McTominay. And it's like, do you realise he's nearly cost us 6 points in the last 2 games? He's nearly cost this club 6 points in 2 games. And apparently he's back to his best. And apparently he was very, very good tonight. And I could not believe some of the praise, Robbie Savage and Darren Fletcher, not the Man United player. Darren Fletcher, the commentator on TNT Sports, saying, look how solid McTominay's been. Look how solid Harry Maguire's been. Look how solid they've both been. Look at the performances lately. Look how great Harry Maguire was, and he got man of the match on Saturday, which wasn't deserved. They are talking up these players thinking they're very good. I'm sorry. Scott McTominay was dreadful tonight, and you're thinking he's back to his best. It says a lot. It says a lot. Like in the midfield three, there's no energy. There is no effort in that team. McTominay needs to be dropped for Eriksen. Eriksen needs to come back into this team. We desperately are missing Casemiro. And I mean, I can't believe Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comments that Man United signing Casemiro was a massive, massive mistake. Well, I don't want an owner like that complaining about a player that has probably been United's get out of jail, who's probably been our best player for the last 2 seasons. And you're telling me it was a massive mistake signing him. We are missing Casemiro. Quite clearly, we are missing Casemiro. It showed tonight that midfield could not be controlled. It can't be mentored. And for me, it can't be balanced when you've got your world-class midfielder. For me, Casemiro is the best CDM in the Premier League by an absolute mile. There's no debate about that or doubt. Casemiro is way better than Rodri on basic level and on world-class momentum level because he's won more in his career. And I think for me, if Casemiro was playing tonight, would have been able to get the ball forward a bit more. The breaks for the counter-attack against Copenhagen's to back four would have been a bit more. I just think that midfield is not safe without Casemiro in it. It's not safe without him. The United are all over the place because there's no leadership to protect that CDM. And I think for me, what really pissed me off was the substitution of Amrabat. And I know it did prove vital in the end to bring Eriksen on to get the assist for Maguire's goal in the end. But at the moment, Amrabat is getting unfair criticism. He's probably one of our best players in the last 2 games. And he got unfairly substituted. And I thought he did play very well in that first half. Him in that CDM role, he made it look very comfortable. So that's the only thing for me that I was really, really frustrated and angry and disappointed with Ten Hag, because you've brought him in and then he's meant to be this midfield starter. And you've kept McTominay on, who's been shit. And then you've taken Amrabat on that made that midfield secured. And I think that is where the midfield battle was lost in the second half. Soon as Amrabat went off, it all went to shit. It absolutely went tits up. And I think that is why United have scraped the win, because the midfield battle was getting dominated by the FC Copenhagen front three and the midfield three that was shutting the passes down we were trying to make. The assists and the through balls we tried to make as well were getting shut down because the midfield was not comfortable without Amrabat or Casemiro in it. And I think that is why the performance went wrong. And deploying Scott McTominay at CDM, by the way, I mean, let's make a big point about that. That's a joke of a decision. He's nearly cost us that win. I mean, he's probably going to have to buy Onana a drink tonight because of what he's done to save us that win and those 3 points from being declined and achieving. Scott McTominay must be breathing a massive sigh of relief here, because at the end of the day, if that penalty goes in, we draw that game and it's 1-1. If we would have won this game, that is down to Scott McTominay. And I think for me, it is about time people realised he's crap. Don't hype him up when he is never going to get to the level that everyone thinks he's going to get at. It's unjustified and it's unfair because he's crap. I'm sorry, he was awful tonight. I'm sorry, I watched that whole game and he's awful. It's embarrassing. I don't want players like that in this United team costing this club. And that's the problem. The more they keep them and the more game time they get, the more problems are going to cause themselves. And this team's downfall will be severe. And if we keep on losing games and we don't start picking up points, then how could this team be trusted? You know? How can this team be trusted? And I think for me, at the end of the day, I don't want United, getting by with wins that for me, they didn't deserve to win tonight. I think as a whole, if United keep playing like this, we are in big trouble because better teams will pick Man United off in vital team situations. Man City will pick us off one by one. And if we get through to the knockout round, and let's hope we do, because we've got to stay in this competition, and we're going to have to win every Champions League game we've got left now. We are going to have to really go for it. we're going to have to go for it and try and save ourselves. And I mean, thank God we've won tonight and got the 3 points. But Man United as a whole, I would not be pleased with that performance. I'd be having a hard line look at that team and those players around me thinking, lads, we've got let off here. We have got massively let off here. Not just down to Scott McTominay, but down to Onana. I mean, without him as our goalkeeper, David De Gea, if David De Gea was still in the sticks between the nets, he wouldn't have saved that penalty. That would have gone in and United would have drawn that game. There's no doubt in Andre Onana's world-class quality about him. He's going to be a great goalkeeper for this club. And I think for me, as a whole, the penalty save was decent, if we're being honest. But I think why the penalty miss was missed is because, did anyone notice? I mean, Garnacho might get a little bit of shit for this, but did you see him kicking the penalty spot about and kicking it with his boot and trying to ruffle up the penalty spot for the FC Copenhagen penalty to be taken? I think maybe that's what's helped Onana as well. I mean, will Garnacho, get done for that? I mean, that's probably cost FC Copenhagen an equaliser, maybe, but I think Onana probably would have saved the penalty anyway. I'm not sure. Anything can happen in football, but at the end of the day, let's be honest, Man United in the Champions League, it's not been brilliant. It's been a really hard struggle in this group. It's been tough. It's been fierce. The rivalry has been inhumane. It's been mental, this Champions League campaign in this group. And I said to people, Man United are in a bad, difficult group. We are going to struggle to get out this group. And people said, you're going to qualify. You're going to get through. There's no need to worry. Playing the way we are, there are big causes for worry because United do not look like a team that is united. It looks very unbalanced. We are papering over the cracks. And people might not like that. And I get that and I respect that. But if we're going to be truthful and honest about Man United, there are several big problems. We all know what's going on behind the scenes. Of course we do. We all know half these players should be playing in a Man United shirt. And I think also as well, in my opinion, in my view, if United would have added a world-class striker as well as Rasmus, another decent holding midfielder with Amrabat and Casemiro, another winger instead of Sancho, Elanga and Martial, then, in my opinion, we would probably be scoring a lot more goals, creating a lot more chances, being a bit more consistent with the front three, delivering what we were looking for. But at the moment, it is very, very lucky. And I think for me as a whole, United can't go wrong from winning. Like, it's 3 wins in a row. That's a lot better. But we still expect to do more than what we're doing. And I think if United can do that, United will be fine in this group. But we've still got to keep this winning run going. The momentum, we've got to keep this up now. We've got important Premier League games coming up, as well as the Carabao Cup defence in the next 2 weeks. We've got City and Newcastle in our next 2 games, which is going to be mentally interesting, and see how United can get on. But if we're going to give a man of the match to anyone, I think it has to be for Eriksen, because he nearly scores a great goal and he gets the assist for the winning goal for Harry Maguire's header on the 72nd minute to win that game. And I think also we have to give it to Onana for saving that penalty. Onana not saving that penalty, United have drawn this game and we haven't got any points. We could be on one bottom of the group. So I think my man of the match has to go to Andre Onana and Christian Eriksen for delivering that win single-handedly. So I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video, hit that tweet button and the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on. All times receive dedicated content right throughout the last few months this year in 2023. We've got more Fortnite, Chat 4 Season 4 Last Resort, Rocket League Season 12 Porsche. We've got more EA Sports FC 24 content. We've also got more previews, more match reactions, and then the next preview will be Thursday afternoon, so look out for that for the Premier League weekend to return. Again, our preview is for Manchester United against Manchester City. Look out for that Premier League preview for Sunday's game at Old Trafford Thursday afternoon on this channel. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Stay safe, be nice, and be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Dream, achieve, believe, and you will go far in your life. Enjoy your Tuesday evening, and I'll see you for the preview Thursday afternoon, and I'll see you on the next one.